The Germany economic miracle or the witchcraft wonder. One of those stories that make you go like, wait, how did they do to plan that off, to pull that off? Imagine a country flat on its back after World War II. I mean, cities in ruins, factories gone, the currency basically monopoly money, and people trading butter for bread on the black market. Yet, less than 10 years later, West Germany was booming. I mean, factories roaring, jobs everywhere, and hope reborn. What happened? Did someone sprinkle economics fairy dust? Not quietly. Not quite. The true miracle of Germany was not gold falling from the sky, but men and women rising from despair. The real secret lay in bold reforms, a currency reset in 1948, a little help from the Marshall Plan, and Ludwig Erhard's ideas of a social market economy. Freedom with fairness. So we asked, how did this change turn wreckage into one of the fastest recovery in modern history? And to answer that, let's first look at where Germany stood right after the war.
To start, let's understand what happened to the German economy after World War II based on a recent study of Barber and Carlstrom. Well, everything was in ruin in Germany. So where are the bridges? Gone. The factories, they could only make dust. But even if Germany was defeated, West Germany was controlled by the Allies. They decided that the devastated industries need to be taken down, like importing some equipment out of Germany, by example, just to prevent that no more production of weapons could come back. Also, during the war, the Nazis print money like they were in the Monopoly game, not to buy the railroads or the houses, but to buy more weapons for the war. If we look at the situation with the quantity theory of money, as explained by Alexander Young, when there's too much money for few goods, the prices must go higher. Instead to accept higher prices, the Allies try to freeze the prices and wages. But the law of supply and demand in this situation show that the Germans want too much good because the prices of the good are low, like your parent when they shop at Costco. But the factories sold their goods too fast, so instead of waiting, people will pay more to get what they want and the black market is born. The prices get much higher. And remember that the salary was fixed for the fixed prices. 500 grams of butter costs on the legal market about 1 and 80, but the prices increased between $240 and $250 on the black market. You know the worst, 1 month's salary was not even able to buy that 500 grams of butter. So the result you end with the Allies that need to supply a majority of the food for West Germany, and the Germans only work to try to survive in an economy where the industries could not produce for everyone. Then what happened in 1948? The turning point for Germany to become rich is with the 1948 currency reform, and we will understand further with the study made by Gunther Schnabel. The capitalists who possessed industries could not know how to enrich themselves without money. High production can only occur when a capitalist could possibly obtain the bank of Scrooge McDuck. You know, the dog was swimming in his bank. Without money, there is no high production, which leads the country to stay poor. What the reform did? Ludwig Erhard wanted the current money to be replaced by another type of money. Imagine all the money you get from multiple Monopoly boxes was returned to their original boxes. Sure, you have less money, but at least you know the real value of it because the money is now limited, which makes it impossible for the majority to try to put higher price on the goods. This currency reform helps to make the money usable again because its value is stable and can change fastly. Does Germany get back on the track to be a rich country again? The answer is surprisingly yes. After Ludwig applied this reform, the shelves of the stores were starting to be filled again. Now, when Germans want goods, the capitalists know that if they could make more goods, they will be guaranteed to obtain profit with this new value in the Germans' money. This put an end on the black market and the fixed prices and wages. Why it matters? Because when people know that their money could buy goods and services, they start to work to produce and to trade again. Not simply on a low scale. People could buy more and more goods if production increased. But how production was made to increase the wealth of the Germans. Let's take a look at the social market of Ludwig. What does Ludwig have in mind with this social market? Well, he saw Germany through order liberalism. I would try to explain it through the same study of Gunther Schnell. It's very simple. The economy needs to bring back competition between companies, and small and medium enterprises could not compete against the big one. So Ludwig create reforms that will promote a free market where companies get full power in the prices and production. But no monopoly could be made because there's no production if one company gets everything. Like the Monopoly game, the game stops when someone gets every property. In general, Ludwig reformed the economy where the government interferes in the economy against companies that want monopolies. A bit like your dad when you play with other children in the park. He doesn't play with you, but he will interfere if you hurt the other kids. What was the effect? Well, as you could see on those pictures, the first one shows a high economic growth. And just to let you know, 10% growth is not normal and very rare. Also, this means that production has increased. The wages are high enough to buy multiple products. People could find jobs so much that almost everyone got a job at the end of the 50s. But could all that happen without the Marshall Plan? Well, Tolok enlightened us.
Well, thank you, Felix. That was quite a comeback story. But now, let's talk about the sugar rush that gave the recovering economy an extra boost, the Marshall Plan. So, imagine Germany in 1948. The shelves are starting to fill again thanks to the new Dutch mark. People are finally buying real goods instead of trading butter on the black market. But there is still one problem. Money might be stable, yet factories are still half broken, and machines, well, let's say they've seen better days actually. Then that's when Uncle Sam shows up with a suitcase full of dollars, about 13 billions for all the Western Europe. That's around 130 billion today, and West Germany got a nice slice of that pie, around let's say 1.4 billions, according to the long and ancient green 199. So what did actually the Germans did with the money they received? They didn't just buy fancy stuff. Actually, they rebuilt bridges, modernized factories, and imported new machinery to get production roaring again. Basically, it's like giving a phone that finally works to someone that's been trying to text back on bricks. But there's a trick. The aid worked because the Dutch mark was already stable. Without that reform, all the US dollars would have just vanished into inflation. With it, every dollar became an investment instead of a firefighter. And there's more. The plan didn't just give cash, it gave credit, trust, and connection. It helped West Germany trade back again with its neighbors and rejoin the global economy, according to Bergen 2013. So, the question is, was the Marshall Plan the whole miracle? No, it was not. Not really, actually. Think of it like a protein shake. It helped the recovery grow faster, but the muscle were already there thanks to Erhard reforms. Alright, so after all the reform, the hard works, and the financial boost from the Marshall Plan, the question still remains: did this actually work? Well, let's bring in everyone's favorite formula, GDP. It's basically the economy's recipe for measuring how happy a country wallet feels. Consumption, investment, government spending, and net export. In Germany's case, every single ingredient started cooking perfectly in the 1950s. Look at consumption. Consumption shot up as people finally earned stable wages and could buy real products again. Investment increased because business trusted the system, no more monopoly money. And government spending went into rebuilding roads, bridges, and even cities. Exports exploded as made in Germany suddenly meant quality, reliability, and speed. Put that all together and boom, West Germany GDP nearly doubled within a decade. Unemployment collapsed, inflation came down, and people went from surviving to thriving. So, was it really a miracle? Not really. Not no, it was not a miracle. It was a strategy, smart policy, disciplined people, and perfect timing. The currency reform brought trust back, the Marshall Plan fueled growth, and Erhard's social market economy kept it all fair and balanced. Together, they didn't just rebuild an economy, they actually rebuilt hope. And I leave you with this word of Ludwig Erhard. He said, a strong economy needs both freedom and responsibility. This is Tolok,
And Felix,
and this was our project.
bye bye.
Bye.